Let us see the students of 12th standard. The last time we have discussed about the Faraday's experiments, motional EMF, and now next is the conversion of mechanical energy into electrical energy and then into thermal energy. Energy consideration topic. To explain about the conversion of mechanical energy into electrical energy, then into thermal energy. So here, as we have seen last time, the experiment of use of the conducting frame, which was placed in uniform magnetic field. Magnetic field lines are going inside perpendicular to the board. U-shaped of frame is like this one. So plane of frame is perpendicular to magnetic field. And on the two arms, SP and RQ, a conducting rod PQ is sliding towards the right side. And as it is sliding towards the right side, there is a change of magnetic flux. Due to change of magnetic flux, according to Faraday's law, induced EMF is generated between these two ends, P and Q of a rod. Length of the rod PQ is supposed to be L, V is velocity of the rod, and B is magnetic field. So induced EMF, as you know, produced is E equal to LV. So in the example of the U-shaped conductor, a rod PQ is sliding with velocity V towards the right side, perpendicular to uniform magnetic field B, so that the induced EMF E equal to LBV is generated in it, with its upper end is positive and lower end is negative. So now this is a closed circuit PSRQ. This rod PQ behaves like a battery of E equal to LBV. That's why the current is generated from its positive terminal, which flows from P to S, S to R, R to Q, Q to P. So this conducting rod is now current carrying rod. And as this current carrying rod is placed in magnetic field, according to Ampere's law, the force acting on it, that is Lenz's force, is given by F equal to vector IL cross B. And now if I say this conducting rod PQ has resistance R, whereas other arms like PS, SR and RQ have negligible resistance. That's why one can say this PSRQ closed circuit supposed to be having a resistance R. IB the current is generated. Therefore, according to Ohm's law, this current I equal to E upon R. So let small r be the resistance of this rod PQ, and other arms of the U-shaped frame have negligible resistance. Then current flow in the closed circuit PSRQ is I equal to E upon R equal to LBV upon R. But now because of this conducting rod is current carrying rod placed in magnetic field, the force acting on rod according to the equation F equal to IL cross B. So this is vector IL, this is magnetic field B. So if you rotate this IL towards the B, so this will be the direction, anti-clockwise direction. And in anti-clockwise direction, now if you rotate the screw, keeping like this one, then what can happen here? If you rotate like this one, then the screw comes outside. As the screw comes outside, it means what? In this direction towards SR, the magnitude of force equal to ILB is acting in a direction opposite to that of velocity of the rod. देखो force इस direction में है, velocity उधर direction में है. तो this magnitude of force ILB is acting on the rod in a direction opposite to velocity of the rod, and this force is known as the Lenz's force. So if you want to continue the motion of the rod towards the right side, then minimum this much external force you have to apply towards the right side, that is in a direction opposite to that of Lenz's force. So to continue the motion of the rod with constant velocity towards the right side, an external force applied must be equal to ILB. तो आई एल एंड बी का प्रोडक्ट का वैल्यू जितना आता है इतना एक्सटर्नल फोर्स टुवर्ड्स द राइट साइड लगाना पड़े, देन एंड ओनली देन रिजल्टेंट फोर्स जीरो होगा, देन द रॉड PQ कैन मूव विद कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी टुवर्ड्स द राइट साइड. एंड जैसे राइट साइड की ओर चलता जाएगा तो एरिया linked with this circuit goes on increasing, that means area change होगा, so magnetic flux change होगा, तो EMF generate होगा. And that's why one can see the mechanical power, क्योंकि आपको रॉड को इस साइड पुल करना है, इसीलिए आप मैकेनिकल पावर स्पेंड करते हैं। तो मैकेनिकल पावर स्पेंड बाय यू इज फोर्स इनटू वेलोसिटी, एक्सटर्नल फोर्स इज इक्विवेलेंट टू ILB, वेलोसिटी इज v, यू पुट द वैल्यू ऑफ I एंड I इक्वल कितना था LBV अपॉन R, तो LBV अपॉन R into LBV becoming equal to what, L square B square upon R. So mechanical power while pulling the rod towards the right side spent by you is Pm equal to L square B square upon R, and this mechanical power is dissipated as a joule heat, क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रिक क्लोज सर्किट में करंट फ्लो हो रहा है, इसीलिए रॉड PQ में करंट I फ्लो हो रहा है, बराबर, एंड रॉड PQ का रेजिस्टेंस है और कंपेयर टू द अदर आर्म्स, इसलिए उसमें हीट एनर्जी जनरेट होगी, एंड दैट हीट एनर्जी जनरेटेड I स्क्वायर R इक्वल टू I की वैल्यू फिर से LBV अपॉन R इन होल स्क्वायर इनटू R becoming L square B square upon R. It means which will be the mechanical power spent by you that have been dissipated in the form of heat energy, that is dissipated in the form of thermal energy. But before that you can see the electrical energy generated. So electrical energy equal to voltage into current, that is EMF into I. So EMF is LBV, I is equal to LBV upon R. So again L square B square upon R. So this equation are same. So either you say electrical energy generated, or you can say the mechanical powers spent by, or you can say the thermal energy generated, all are equal, and thus the mechanical energy needed to move the rod PQ is converted into electrical energy and then in thermal energy. अब इसके बाद एक छोटा और टॉपिक है, the relation, and that we see the proof just इसके बाद, the relationship between the charge flow through the circuit and change in magnetic flux. The relation between the amount of charge flow through the closed circuit and change in magnetic flux is given by delta Q equal to delta phi b upon R. How is it possible? To let us see the proof of it. Let us see the proof of that equation. By Faraday's law, the magnitude of induced EMF E equal to minus delta phi b upon delta t. So magnitude is modulus of delta phi b upon delta t, where delta phi b is change in magnetic flux and delta t is time interval during which that change of magnetic flux happens. But according to Ohm's law, this induced EMF equal to I into R. What was I? So I equal to delta Q upon delta T, amount of charge flowing through the cross section of a conducting wire per unit time, delta Q upon delta T, and R resistance as it is. If you compare these two equations, then we can write, instead of E, we put delta Q upon delta T into R equal to delta phi b upon delta T. From both the sides, delta T cancel as being common in denominator. तो डेल्टा Q इक्वल टू R नीचे ले जाएंगे तो क्या मिलेगा, डेल्टा Q इक्वल टू डेल्टा phi b upon R, and delta phi b is known as what, the net change in magnetic flux linked with closed circuit upon capital R is the resistance of a given closed circuit. Then we see the example 6.6. Now in this example, what given? You read from the textbook, as here the diagram is there. This is a magnetic field lines going inside perpendicular to the plane of the ball. This red one is metallic ring is there exactly at its center, and up to the circumference where it touch, there is a one conducting rod, and this conducting rod is rotating, keeping its one end in contact with this metallic rod. The length of this rod is equivalent to the radius of the ring, and as it is given in the example, it is equal to what, 1 meter. It is revolving, and it is revolving like this one, it go on revolving. Its one end is at center, another end is in contact with metallic ring, and frequency of revolution F equal to 50 revolutions per second is there. Magnetic field going inside perpendicular is 1 Tesla, and you have to determine between these two ends of a rod, where it is equal to the, between these two ends of a rod, which is equal to the radius, how much will the induced EMF is generated. So here again, as we have seen the topic, induced EMF generated in a rod when these three things are perpendicular. One is length, another is magnetic field, and third is velocity. Where will be the instantaneous velocity of this rod? The instantaneous velocity will be in the direction of tangent to the circle, and as it is in the direction of tangent, it means what? It is perpendicular to the length. तो ये वेलोसिटी की डायरेक्शन है. रॉड इस तरह से दोनों आपस में परपेंडिकुलर है, तो यहाँ पे रॉड की लेंथ एंड वेलोसिटी से बनता हुआ प्लेन को ये मैग्नेटिक फील्ड परपेंडिकुलर है. दैट मीन्स व्हाट? हियर दिस थ्री आर परपेंडिकुलर टू ईच अदर. Length of the rod, velocity of the rod, instantaneous velocity, and magnetic field are perpendicular. So in such case, always the induced EMF generated between the two ends of such a rod is equal to LB. So you can see that as the rod of 1 meter length is equal to radius of metallic ring, is rotated with angular velocity omega equal to 2 pi f, and omega equal to, as you know, linear velocity v equal to r omega. So v will be equal to what? Linear velocity v equal to r omega, omega equal to v by r. Then its two ends, इसके two ends, ये rod के one at center, another at in contact with this circumference of the ring. So at its two ends, the induced EMF is generated. The magnitude of this induced EMF generated across the small length. तो actually we know पूरे length के लिए induced EMF कितना होता है? LB, लेकिन तब पूरा rod with velocity v के साथ देना चाहिए. लेकिन यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं होगा. ये रॉड का ये जो पोर्शन जहाँ सेंटर पे है, अकॉर्डिंग टू v इक्वल टू आर ओमेगा, तो इसके लिए r जीरो, तो इसके लिए वेलोसिटी जीरो होगी. लेकिन जैसे जैसे यहाँ से लेंथ बढ़ती जाएगी, तो अकॉर्डिंग टू v इक्वल टू आर ओमेगा वे लीनियर वेलोसिटी बढ़ती जाएगी. इसीलिए लीनियर वेलोसिटी पूरे रॉड के लिए कांस्टेंट नहीं है. दैट्स व्हाई वी विल एज्यूम देयर इज अ स्मॉल सेगमेंट ऑफ द लेंथ ऑफ द रॉड, और ये स्मॉल सेगमेंट हम इतना सपोज करते हैं जिसकी लेंथ इज इक्विवेलेंट टू डी आर. तो नेचुरली उसके लिए वेलोसिटी भी कांस्टेंट होगी. तो नाउ यू कैन एज्यूम द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द ईएमएफ जनरेटेड अक्रॉस अ स्मॉल लेंथ डी आर ऑफ द रॉड एज इट मूव्स एट राइट एंगल्स टू द मैग्नेटिक फील्ड इज गिवन बाय DE इक्वल टू BV इनटू DR. इट कम्स फ्रॉम द इक्वेशन E इक्वल टू BVL, जिसमें L की जगह DR, एंड ये छोटा स्मॉल सेगमेंट है, इसीलिए बहुत ही कम वैल्यू ऑफ ईएमएफ है, इसलिए इंस्टेड ऑफ E इट इज D, स्मॉल मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ इंड्यूस्ड ईएमएफ. देयरफॉर दिस DE इक्वल टू B इनटू, अब V की जगह क्या आएगा? अब यहाँ से इसका कितना डिस्टेंस? इसका डिस्टेंस स्मॉल r हो, तो ये आएगा D इक्वल टू DE इक्वल टू B इनटू r ओमेगा इनटू DR, बिकॉज V इक्वल टू r ओमेगा. यू कैन एज्यूम दिस मच डिस्टेंस इज इक्वल टू स्मॉल r. And at a distance equal to small r, there is a one small element of the rod of length of dr. That's why वहाँ पे velocity कितनी? v equal to r omega. तो b r omega into dr. अब आपको पूरे rod में EMF generate करना है, तो you integrate this equation. So total EMF generated across the two ends of the rod is E equal to integration of dE. लेकिन ये इंटीग्रेशन अब यहाँ पे देखिए dE की वैल्यू कौन सी? b ओमेगा r dr. तो यहाँ पे r चेंजेबल है. r यानी क्या? लेंथ ऑफ रॉड, यानी कि रेडियस ऑफ द मेटालिक रिंग. एंड कहाँ से कहाँ तक? फ्रॉम सेंटर से लेकर अप टू दिस एंड. दैट्स व्हाई यू कैन से फ्रॉम r इक्वल टू 0 टू r इक्वल टू कैपिटल R. देयरफॉर b ओमेगा बीइंग कांस्टेंट फ्रॉम आउटसाइड, इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ r dr, एंड इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ r dr क्या आएगा? r²/2, एंड स्मॉल r पहले कैपिटल R पुट करें तो कैपिटल R²/2, एंड 0 पुट करेंगे तो 0 मिलेगा. मतलब क्या? कैपिटल R²/2 माइनस 0 बिकमिंग R²/2. So this induced EMF equal to B omega R²/2. So one can say this induced EMF equal to 1/2 B omega R². So B, remember this equation also. Whenever in such kind of magnetic field, बराबर, if there is a one wheel is going to be rotating like this one. अगर पूरा एक wheel rotate होता है, देखिए ध्यान से यहाँ wheel rotate हुआ, तो wheel में यहाँ पे इस प्रकार के ऐसे conducting spokes है. एक स्पॉक, दूसरा स्पॉक, तीसरा स्पॉक, चौथा स्पॉक, पांचवा स्पॉक. Then across two ends of such a spoke, the EMF generated is given by 1/2 B omega R², जिसका एक एंड सेंटर पे है वो पॉजिटिव की तरफ वर्क करेगा, यहाँ पे जो है वो नेगेटिव की तरफ वर्क करेगा. एंड ऑल द स्पॉक्स आर कंसिडर्ड इन पैरेलल. दैट्स व्हाई अक्रॉस एवरी स्पॉक द इंड्यूस्ड EMF generated is given by E equal to 1/2 B omega R². And now in this example we want to determine this E. Put the value of B omega and R. तो ओमेगा इक्वल टू कितना है? 2 पाई f. f की वैल्यू कितनी है? 50. तो इट इज 100 पाई. एंड पाई की वैल्यू 3.14, तो इट इज 314. तो E इक्वल टू 1/2 इंटू B की वैल्यू 1.0 इंटू 2 पाई इंटू 50, और ये रेडियस कितनी है? लेंथ 1 स्क्वायर. So this is E equal to, you will get 50 pi, and 50 into 3.14, answer is 157 watt. इसके जैसा ही सेम एग्जाम्पल नंबर 6.7, बराबर। लेकिन अब यहाँ पे एक अकेला कंडक्टिंग रॉड इस तरह से नहीं है, पूरा एक व्हील रोटेट करता है, और यहाँ पे आपको दिस व्हील इज गोइंग टू बी रोटेटिंग विथ फ्रीक्वेंसी f इक्वल टू कितना, 120 रिवोल्यूशंस पर मिनट। तो पर मिनट 120 upon 60 revolutions per second is 2 revolutions per second is frequency of the rotating wheel, and in this rotating wheel there are n conducting spokes. Across every spoke, one at center, another in contact with the circumference of the ring. The induced EMF generated is 1 half the omega r square. Omega equal to 2 pi into 2 because f is 2, it is equal to 4 pi, and this conducting spoke is placed perpendicularly to the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field, that is He. So it is equal to how much given, 0.4 Gauss, and 1 Gauss equal to 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla, and radius of wheel, that is the length of each conducting spoke, is 0.5 meter. So induced EMF generated across any spoke is equal to 1 half b omega r square. तो 1 half b की वैल्यू 0.4 into 10 raised to minus 4, यहाँ पे फिर ओमेगा की वैल्यू 4 पाई, एंड आर स्क्वायर, तो आर कितना है 0.5 का स्क्वायर, यू गेट इट, द आंसर इज 6.25 to 10 raised to minus 5 watt, not Tesla. So this is magnetic field, 6.25 into 10 raised to minus 6.28 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla, and all the spokes are considered in parallel, and for parallel connection, as you know, the voltage across parallel connection remains same. That's why this is the induced EMF between any one and a center and another at circumference of ring. Okay.